New Zealand is a country that seemingly has it all. In this series, I'll be taking you along every step of the way as we explore the best this country has to offer via road, rail, trail, bike, bus and boat. I'll be explaining its geology, wildlife and history, reviewing its many attractions and offering tips and advice for your own travels to this enchanting land. Our journey will now take us past the powerful blue rapids of Huka Falls to the vast landscape of Tongariro. From the slopes of Mount Ruapehu we find beautiful waterfalls and marvel at the active volcanoes that dominate New Zealand's oldest national park.
I got you, you got me, we are two lucky.
Stop complaining.
It's so cold.
Kath's cold.
It's freezing.
So our first stop of the day is at Huka Falls, which is really cold according to Kath. I think it's lovely. There's these crystal clear blue waterfall down here. This is the lookout point and we're going to walk 50 minutes down the road to where you can get down to the actual falls and walk over a bridge. Okay, well, Kath doesn't think this is a 15-minute walk to the falls, so we've put a timer on our phone just to test it. She's giving me the grumpy face. The water here is such an intense colour of blue, it really is quite pretty.
I see you, you see me.
Well, it took about 14 minutes to walk to the Falls Bridge, however I have to admit I did pause it for a couple of minutes when we were back at that other viewpoint.
Remember when you were 5, every day by my side.
Well, the Huka Falls really are some picturesque waterfalls, but if you want the best vantage point, then I'd recommend going back to the other side of the river where we were before, just 2 minutes down from the car park on the walking trail.
Soulmate sister, you know you are. Oh, every time life gets rough, you know you are the one that picks me up, the one that fills my cup. You know you are.
We've just stopped on the north side of Lake Taupo, which is the largest lake in New Zealand, and we're going to be driving all the way around it. The mountain you can see on the horizon, which is Mount Ruapehu, the tallest mountain on the North Island, and that's where we're staying tonight, on the slopes there. We stop off for 2 minutes.
My soulmate sister, you know you are the one that picks me up, the one that fills my cup. You know you are.
Just a quick ice cream stop. Oh my god, the whole thing just fell out.
How did you do that?
I was saving the mango ice cream because that was my favourite. Now it's all over the floor.
I have donated my ice cream to a worthy cause of an inexperienced ice cream eater.
We've just driven into Tongariro National Park and there was fantastic views as we were driving in of the 2 volcanoes here. But first of all, before we get to our accommodation, we've just stopped off at Tawhai Falls, which is otherwise known as Gollum's pool. So this is very cool for me because it was a filming location for the Lord of the Rings. Well, regardless of whether you're a Lord of the Rings fan or not, that was a stunning little waterfall. It had the crystal blue waters, the mossy rocks, the overhanging trees that all make for that picturesque setting. And if you're brave enough to go in the icy water, then you can jump into the pool and do a bit of paddling too. Just arrived at our accommodation at the Skotel Alpine Resort, and in the winter this place is a ski area. In the summer it has the most incredible views, so out on the other side of the resort through the trees you can see the snow-capped peaks of Mount Ruapehu, and then from our cabin you get the best views out over the balcony over Tongariro National Park, the plains, and then this side you can see Mount Ngauruhoe, which is the actual Mount Doom from the Lord of the Rings, and you can see why they chose it because it is very ominous looking. It's got that classic cone shape, so it's very cool as a Lord of the Rings fan for me to be here. So I've managed to take the One Ring all the way to Mount Doom.
Chatting to yourself again, Jamie.
Yeah. We're heading out on a short walk to Taranaki Falls, which is about a 2-hour loop from our accommodation. But obviously all the way along towards these falls there is these incredible views over the plains and of the volcanoes here.
The memories they all twist and turn. I bang my head against the wall.
It is so quiet up here, and just with spectacular views down into the valley and of the volcanoes. And the famous hike here is the Tongariro Alpine crossing, which is like an 8-hour day hike, and it's one of the most famous in the world. Unfortunately we don't have time to do that, but even on a shorter walk like this you just really get a sense of the vast beauty of this place. And to be honest, actually, it's quite nice because I imagine the Alpine crossing can get quite touristy and busy because it is so famous. This one, there's no one. It's so quiet and so nice.
And there was no need to speak.
I don't think I could be any happier right now. I'm hiking through the most spectacular landscape in any direction and heading towards Mount Doom, the actual Mount Doom. This is just fantastic.
From the start, nostalgia is my second nature. My least favorite state of mind, but I go there all the time, all the time.
After reaching the Taranaki Falls, which is about halfway around the loop, you start heading back along the river that flows from it, and it's really nice. You just get this gentle stream and then the forested walk with moss-covered rocks. It's nice to have a different setting from the open plains and mountains that were on the way up. This is a really magical way to end the walk. Just strolling through the woodland here with the setting sun glowing through the trees and the only sound being the stream next to us bubbling away. And we're out of the woodland and onto the open plains with the setting sun casting some amazing colours on Mount Ruapehu, which we have great views of now. If you only have a short while in Tongariro National Park, then I thoroughly recommend this walk. It's a perfect way to spend a couple of hours here and see the beauty of this landscape. Tongariro National Park was one of my favourite places in New Zealand. So much so that Kath and I returned to the south side of Mount Ruapehu several weeks later for some more hiking and biking. Something about the vast plains and solitary volcanic peaks gave me a sense of scale that I could quite happily lose myself in. In the next episode, we'll begin exploring this wilder, more remote side of New Zealand, taking in lakes, glaciers and beaches as we travel through the mountains and down the famously rugged west coast of the South Island.